Hi, I'm Sydney. I live in Southern California with my husband and our dog. I've been an RN for 1 year. I was an LPN for 3 years prior. And off and on through that whole duration, I've worked at a subacute facility here in Southern California. My mom is my biggest influence on my life, and one thing on my list is I would really like to become scuba certified and get involved with that. I understand the syllabus. Excuse me. For my capstone practicum, I need your help, y'all. So at my facility, I work in administration. I work more on the back end. I do a lot of the paperwork for the employee files. I do like LOAs, I do authorizations. So I'm not so much involved in the clinical side of things, but that's where I would really like to go. I'm not particularly passionate about administration. So my idea is to do a review and a training on adverse events. Currently, I've seen this pitfall for our facility many times, and I experienced it when I was on the floor myself, that we don't have a standard practice for how we handle adverse events. If we have a policy, it's not being followed. It's not clearly defined what is an adverse event. The way we document it is just in our nursing notes, so it's really hard to extrapolate that should we ever need that information for a family or for the health department or anything like that. And it just kind of leads, I think, that our patients, of course, are at risk and they have safety issues with that. And then it leads our staff to be a bit insecure because they don't know how to handle it. And, they might text the DON or they might tell the next shift, but that continuity of care is not there. And there's just no standard, which we really, really need. So my idea is to review and revise the policies, refresh them, get them current, and be able to define what is an event, and then develop a training and an in-service for the staff so that they can define it, define how to document it, who to reach out to, where to document, how long we need to be doing neurochecks, or who do we call if there's an elopement, or at what point do we need to alert the state, at what point can it be handled internally, just so that things are more clear and more standardized. So then I would give this training myself to each staff member week by week, meet with them individually, and then of course assess. My timeline would start next week. I would meet with my DON. He is my boss, so I think that we have the best relationship. He's very experienced. He's been a DON for many, many, many years. And before that, he was the director of a local ER. So I'm sure he's well versed in adverse events. And I think he would be the best person that would have the knowledge of what I need to prepare so it's current and intersect with what the staff can reasonably be expected to do and all of that. So I would meet with him next week, and then the next week after, review the policies, develop the training, and then I definitely want to meet with staff one-on-one. I don't want to do a group staff meeting. We have issues with attendance, and I just find in those meetings, people don't speak up, they don't ask questions, they don't take the information to heart. It kind of gets passed to the person next to them. So I'm still working on the timeline because I do need to talk to my mentor and really clarify with him that this is something that I can do. For my materials, I would need to develop the policies, which I believe we do have policies, but they need to be reviewed and updated. So I would update and revise the policies, develop those, develop the training itself, the written materials, the process by which I'm going to ask questions and teach, a log of attendance from the employees, a schedule for the administration of that training, and then develop all the forms for documentation of how we would document adverse events. Like I said, I want to meet with them one-on-one every single week, pick a few employees to meet with, and we'll do it verbally through return demonstration and with the written materials. And then those written materials will be signed off by me, possibly my DON if he feels that's necessary, and the staff themselves, and they'll be included in their file. And then this training should be completed yearly and of course be included in orientation of new staff. To assess my project, really the best way to assess it would be an adverse event happening, which I believe it could be very possible that it could. I'm sure many of you know, working in a subacute, that adverse events are happening constantly, whether it be a med error, you know, elopement attempt, a fall, a bruise, a skin tear. Like, these things are happening all the time. So in all likelihood, I would have an adverse event to assess to see if those policies and procedures were followed correctly. And if one happened to not occur, then I can review the training with the staff a few weeks after it's been administered, give it some time to sit and see what they recall, see if they can still follow it, and then even have them do a sample documentation of how they would document and what would happen if that were to happen. But like I said, I think that an adverse event would probably happen as long as I give enough time. I need to make sure to give myself like a month or something at the end of the project just to assess. But I'm not sure if I need to assess every single staff. I mean, I just need to assess my process in general with one staff. So maybe you guys can kind of give some clarification how you're going to handle that, and also just what you think, if you think is good. If you guys have any tips or any other ideas, this is very much a rough draft. I'm not entirely sure that it's going to go the way that I think it will. And if any of you have any experience or input, I would really appreciate it. So let me know. Thank you.